who will conduct interviews to these prospective blood donors to ensure that the transfusion will be safe for the patient. So this one is to ensure safety of blood recipients. Of course, it will start with physical impressions, no? So, titignan nyo kung sila ba talaga ay okay ba sila ba ay sumusunod sa mga rules, and of course, you have to identify if they are paying donors. So, of course, according to RA 7719, the National Blood Services Act of the Philippines, any form of bribery, no, or anything na may kapalit, no, ay against sa batas ng blood donation. So ayan. No, it starts with the donor's first impressions. Of course, the donor should be clean. Minsan makaka-experience tayo ng mga blood donors na maraming tattoo o kaya sobrang dumi nila sa katawan or amoy na hindi naligo. So, we must ensure kasi kapag galing po silang preso or galing silang kulungan, they will also be temporarily deferred. Usually po kasi 'pag nandun ka na sa kulungan may mga sari-sariling gangster 'yan. If you do not belong to any gangster, uh, most probably you are paying yung mga tinatawag nilang mayor or yung mga heads of the prisons na prisoner din. So for them to be safe, 'no, yung mga walang pambayad sa mga mayor, ang ginagawa nila sumasama sila sa gangster sa loob. So, for you to be identified and to be part of the gangster, meron kang tattoo, 'no? So, hindi na bago 'yan, nalalabas ka ng kulungan, meron ka ng tattoo. So, siyempre sa tattoo wala naman silang, clean sanitation, 'no? Hindi na din natin alam kung paano sila nagta-tattoo. So, may temporarily deferral din sila. So, blood collections are carried out by qualified and trained personnel. Again, not because you are a blood bank staff, you know already, and you can perform already in blood bank. Hindi po, it requires certification, no, kahit na RMT ka. It requires a specific training and specialization for you to be part, not and for you to be qualified to process all the blood components, and as well as the accepting, rejecting, at saka cross-matching the bloods of the donors and the patients. So kung wala ka pang training, pwedeng nandun ka sa blood bank pero nandun ka lang sa receiving area or tinuturuan ka pa lang, but you cannot release, no, any cross-matching yet, no, results. So, ang pagme-medtech or ang pagiging RMT hindi yun matatapos doon, 'no? Hindi porket naging RMT ka na, ganyan ay, wala ng limitations, yung skills mo or yung, pagtatrabaho mo sa laboratory, hindi po. Even sa micro, kailangan meron ka pang certification for you to be called as a bacteriologist. Hindi yan basta-basta binibigay or hindi yan porket nagtatrabaho ka sa bacteriology section, sa blood bank section, blood banker ka na or bacteriologist ka na. Hindi po. Kung wala kang certification, wala kang training. So, um, pleasant professional staff who can ask the appropriate questions, observe and interpret the responses, and ensure that the collection process is pleasant as possible. So we must ensure also that these volunteers are really volunteers. Kasi baka mamaya napipilitan o kaya pinilit lang silang mag-donate para sa patient. The governing agencies, just like the tag dito, previous procedures that we had, no, including the type and screen method, is of course governed by AABB, no, and CLS, so American Association of Blood Banks. So from the very beginning, no, history ng blood bank discussion natin, in-establish na natin yan na ginagaya natin yung protocol ng AABB at saka ng WHO. So, and of course, we modify it, we govern, no, according to the capacity of the hospital and according to the capacity of the Philippines, no, yung governing agency natin, which is of course the DOH. Yan. So, governing agencies for process including donors selection and donor unit processing. So, sa US, kasama yung FDA or yung US Food and Drug Administration sa nag-govern ng blood bank donation sa kanila. Sa atin naman, hindi FDA ang tawag. Um, FDA din ba? FDA din ata, Food and Drug Administration of the Philippines naman tayo, formerly known as Bureau of Food and Drug Administration. So, FDA ng Pilipinas. Bakit? Kasi, meron tayong tinatawag na transfusion therapy wherein, yung therapy kasi, it is still considered as medication 'no, para sa pasyente natin na sinasalina natin ng dugo. For example, anemic yung ating pasyente. So, para maka-cope up yung katawan ng anemic na pasyente, kailangan natin silang salinan ng packed red cells. So, kapag sinalinan natin yung taong may sakit ng packed red cells kasi meron siyang, anemia, ire-replenish natin yung red cells na wala siya. So, it is a therapy kasi gumagaling yung pasyente natin or nagkakaroon ng improvement from that disease. So, ang nangyayari dun is it is still considered as medication. So, it will be later on discussed, next week. Ito yung transfusion therapy na tinatawag natin. Ano yung mga different diseases 'no, na puwedeng gumaling yung ating pasyente through, blood transfusion. So, merong FDA ang ibang bansa, meron din po tayong FDA 'no. So, responsible for licensing, collection, and processing, facilities, provides recommendations as well. So, hindi lang po, DOH yung puwedeng visit 'no sa mga blood bank, units, puwede rin pong, mag-visit yung mga, taga-FDA. So, of course, they need to ensure that all the blood bank units have their special permits. Tapos, College of American Pathologists, no? So, they provide voluntary inspection sa ibang bansa sa Pilipinas. Sa atin po, ang nagpo-provide lang ng inspection is of course the WHO at saka, ay, WHO, DOH, tsaka yung, hindi pwedeng mag-visit ang PBCC, the Philippine Blood Council. Kaya lang, pwede silang mag-provide ng standards for that. Um, Other else, we have, JCAHO and CLSI. So yung JCAHO, eto meron din tayo nito sa Pilipinas. So this one is the Joint Commission on the Accreditation of Hospital Organizations. So this one is to ensure na walang private hospital na hindi nagko-comply sa rules and standards ng Philippine government. 'No, kasi siyempre gusto niyo ba na may mag-o-opera sa inyo na hindi naman pala recognize ng DOH yung ospital na yun. Kasi all of the hospitals, blood bank units, and units in the laboratory should be registered po sa DOH. So, nire-register yan sa DOH doon sa Tayuman, doon sa Tondo. No? So, kapag magpapatayo kayo ng clinic in the future or hospital in the future, doon po nagsasubmit ng mga letter of intent no sa main division ng DOH for you to be qualified, certified at kapag nagbigay ka ng letter of intent no at magbabayad ka ng permit, sila po yung pupunta no sa clinic mo or sa hospital mo para i-check kung ano yung mga comments nila at gusto nila pang i-improve 'no, doon sa naipatayo mo ng, structure or institution. So for the donor screening, it encompasses, the donor's, medical history, mini physical examination because we cannot perform full physical examination 'no. 'Pag sinabi kasi nating full, puwedeng i-check yung ano, puwedeng, humingi ng ECG, puwedeng humingi ng stress test, puwedeng mag-request na tignan yung puwet, ganyan, kapain yung suso, ganyan. So, kaya po mini physical examination because we only check for the height and weight na blood pressure, pulse rate, medical history, and medications of the patient. Pero other parts of the, physical screening, hindi po natin siya puwedeng i-touch kasi hindi naman po check-up ang ipinunta dun ng ating, pasyente. And of course, serological testing which of course involves, the identification of blood-related diseases, no? The donor identification and registration requirements to confirm the donor's identity linked to the donor to existing donor records. Yan. So, kapag ano, tinhype natin yung pangalan, no? Meron kaming tinatawag na blacklist at saka chicken na tinatawag namin sa lab. So you will be using probably different codes, no? When you proceed to blood bank kasi hindi niyo puwedeng sabihin na, blacklist pala 'tong pasyente na 'to, 'no. So, uh, the patients 'no, may mga halimbawa, may mga janitor na, lagi silang nagdo-donate ng dugo. Tapos nalaman mo, bakit nakakapagod ang trabaho ng janitor? Bakit gusto pa nilang donate? So yun pala, binabayaran sila. So you have to identify that. So sometimes, may mga gano'n na-identify natin yun, pero tapos na silang mag-donate. So we will tag them as, blacklist 'no. Gagawa tayo ng listahan. Unlike sa ibang bansa, no, they have a blood bank registry wherein you can save some details if they have special blood types, rare blood types, or even yung mga kailangang i-blacklist. Kasi hindi naman po kasi lahat ng mga donors natin maalam sa kanilang mga ginagawa. Some of them actually use the uh, blood donation screening for them to be identified if they have HIV or not, or other blood related diseases, 'no. So, 'yun 'no, kaya kasama siya sa mga medical history and even sa question 'no. There could be some puwedeng tingin natin, absurd questions like, "Do you know that you are donating blood for a specific person or you are donating blood for free?" May mga gano'ng tanong na obvious naman para sana sa atin. Kaya lang, we must ensure that the questionnaires that we have 'no, prior blood donation is clear 'no, madaling intindihin para sa mga nagdo-donate. Yung iba naman kasi diyan nagdo-donate din sila pero hindi rin sila marunong magbasa 'no. So, kaya po sa interview malalaman natin kung binasa ba talaga nila yung questionnaire 'no, and of course there should be a consent, 'yan. So, donor screening, reasons for donor screening, ensuring safety, obtaining donor that will not transmit a disease. Registration, so there will be written materials, there will be written documents, no, for you to be identified if you are legible no, to donate. And donors must be informed for their consent, no, na ibibigay ito later on. Kasi baka mamaya akala nung nagdo-donate, para sa kanya din yung dugo, kaya siya nagdo-donate in the future. Sorry. Of course, that is for autologous transfusion, but we do not actually do that, no? Kung naka-autologous transfusion, di dapat po admitted yung donor, no? First-time donors must provide proof of identification, no, such as SS number, date of birth, address, and of course their physical ID. So repeat donors may be required to show donor cards again. So mas maganda po halimbawa nagdo-donate kayo sa Red Cross, halimbawa lang. So sa Red Cross 'di ba meron silang binibigay na card, nakalagay dun yung blood type mo, address mo, na nag-donate ka ng ganitong dugo nung year ganito, petsa ganito. So it's better to donate in one unit than in donating into different units of blood bank, 'no. Bakit? Para pagka kinailangan niyo po ng dugo, hindi naman puwede pong hindi directly sa inyo. Puwedeng, ah, kailangan mong humingi ng dugo or bumili ng dugo para sa relative, para sa kaibigan, ganyan. You can just present your donor cards 'no, sa unit kung saan ka nag donate ng dugo 'no, for you to be prioritized, to be given yung units na na hinihingi mo kasi you are an active donor as well. So, kung makikita sa Red Cross na sa sa 10 taon ka ng nagdo-donate meron ka ng 10 blood bags, then if there will be stock 'no, kung ilan man yung kailangan mo puwede na din nilang i-provide 'no. Unlike, magdo-donate ka sa Red Cross, magdo-donate ka sa 5 different hospitals, again 'no, who knows 'no, hindi natin malalaman kung kailan mo din kakailanganin yung mga yung mga blood units na ito. So 'yan 'no, you always, ask for the donor cards para po, you can also, get one 'no, in return in the future. Kasi lagi namang meron pong pino-provide na donor cards. So, frequency of donation, so full blood or RBCs 'no, every 8 weeks. But, sometimes depende rin 'no, they want to maximize the 12 weeks, which is 3 months. Platelet up to 24 times a year, plasmapheresis, every 4 weeks 'no. Sa Pilipinas kasi, if you want to just get a specific, blood portion, which is platelet or plasma lang, we perform apheresis. Wherein in the apheresis, we can just, the blood goes through the machine, selects the different, blood components that you like or that you need, then it will harvest on the other end, and on the other hand, ibabalik niya sa katawan mo through machine yung blood component na hindi mo kailangan. However, class, there is no free, apheresis, technique or procedure sa Pilipinas. Lagi pong may bayad ang apheresis. The good thing about apheresis is that, um, walang masasayang na dugo at saka mas maraming concentration nito yung, puwedeng maibigay. Let's say for example sa platelet pheresis, so about 100 to 125 to maximum of 150 ml of platelets can be harvested from one patient. Pero kapagka pinerform ito, by blood separation, blood component preparation from a whole blood bag 'no, yung may plasma, yung may platelets, yung may packed red cells, nasa around 25 ml lang siya. So, mas, concentrated, mas maraming sample ang maha-harvest natin from apheresis because it is a specific extraction of, blood component from the donor. But again, it's not for free. Registration requires ID, you have to check for the donors of the patient, and ayan. So, meron ding mga pasyente na walang mga middle name, pasyente and donor, okay lang. Pero kasi halimbawa ang pangalan niya Juan de la Cruz, tapos wala siyang middle name. So, we must find, distinct, identity of Juan de la Cruz. Kasi unang-una wala na siyang middle name. So, pangalawa common po yung kanyang pangalan. So, we must include probably their date of birth 'no, telephone number, gender, and address. Pero siyempre hindi yan po kasya sa blood bag ano. So, puwedeng lagyan na lang din natin siya ng, date of birth and, gender. Yeah. So minimum age is less than sorry, 16 years old. So pero yung 16 years old, 'pag wala pang 18 dapat meron pa siyang consent from the parent, 'no. So malalaking bulas naman na ngayon yung mga donors natin 'no, malalaking tao na sila. So kaya naman. So ako personally, I have not, collected or bled a donor who is less than 18 years old. Kasi kailangan yun talaga ng parental consent 'no, at puwedeng may underlying disease yung bata na hindi niya sinasabi, pero alam ng parent. So, we must clearly identify that. Consent to donate, so they should know the procedure of donating blood. Baka magulat sila kasi akala nila isang tube lang yung kailangan, yun pala isang blood bag. Tapos, transfusion related, diseases, 'no, for the signs and symptoms. Tapos and may consent, tapos typically done at the end of donor history and questionnaire, 'yan. So yung medical history questionnaire natin, hindi po ito ginawang tanong ng mga medtech para sagutin ng mga donor. We have a standard questionnaire, 'no, that is made and, registered by the DOH, 'no. Sila ang gumawa niyan or puwede rin tayong gumamit ng universal, questionnaire coming from the AABB, 'no, ah, AABB or PBCC. So, but what's important is that, even though, it is uncomfortable, 'no, so we have to ask their sexual history for us to assess the possibility of, um, sexually transmitted, infections or disease, 'yan. So, minsan puwede tayong ano, may mga pasyente may mga donor tayo na they could be extra sensitive, 'no, they could be, religious, but we really need to ask, 'no, for their, patients, donors, sexual history. So, kayo po ba ay, nakikipagtalik? Kailan po ang hiling niyong pakikipagtalik? Sa isa lang ba, ah, sa opposite sex, sa same sex, ganyan? Did you had history, 'no, naggamot po ba kayo dati sa syphilis, sa gonorrhea, 'no, et cetera, 'no? And, these questions are always, 'no, answerable by, yes or no. Um, Unless otherwise, 'no, may mga kakaibang, history talaga yung ating pasyente. History like, puwedeng siya pala ay sex worker, gano'n, sex worker before. So, may mga temporary deferrals, 'no, ganyan. 'Yan medical history questionnaire, 'yan standardized, 'no, by AABB and, FDA. So, self-administered questionnaires puwede naman 'tong basahin, 'no, puwedeng basahin lang ito ng mga donors tapos sagutan nila. Pero again, may mga donors na medyo nahihirapang intindihin yung tanong at saka hindi marunong magbasa at magsulat. So, there will still be trained, personnel, 'no, kasama po kayo diyan. Kapagka nag-training po kayo for blood bank, hindi lang po, cross-matching, blood typing, identification of other blood group yung iti-train sa inyo. You also need to be trained how to conduct an interview. Kasi hindi po 'yan, basta-basta. May mga donors na may mga anxiety na, "Bakit ganyan ang mga tanong mo sa'kin, pinagdududahan mo ba ako?" Ganyan. May mga donor din na parang guilty on how they act, 'no, as a donor. So, you must know how to manage the situation well, 'no? And, we can, endorse them to, epidemiology section or infectious control section of the, hospital, 'no? Just in case meron silang doubts, 'no, "Ay baka may HIV ako kasi yung nanggaling ako sa iba't ibang bansa tapos ang dami ko ding, sexual history with other men and women, ganyan. So, uh, we can, um, we can suggest them, 'no, to be counseled by the infectious control department. So, we must, be careful that, any conversation with our donors or patients, puwedeng ito ay make or break, 'no. It could be a make or break, news for them. So, we must be, careful, 'no, in identifying. Then, the medical history information and physical examination are designed to answer this question, 'no. So, will a donation approximately 450 ml of whole blood be harmful to the donor? 'Yan, alam natin sagutin 'yan. And could, the blood drawn from this donor at this time potentially transmit a disease to the patient? So, meron kasing mga tanong like They can always deny, of course. They can always deny that they do not have HIV, transfusion related diseases, etc. Or pwede ring i-deny nila na nanganak sila, nakulong sila, sexual worker sila, etc. But what's important is you will ask this. Kapagka transfuse natin itong dugo na ito sa isang recipient, will it be safe for transfusion? So, if the patient answers no, ganyan, so pwedeng we will defer him or her no accordingly. Yan. So, questions to be considered that could be added sa questionnaire ay yung mga specific diseases, no? Like Creutzfeldt Jacob disease mga bukod dun sa mga HIV, hepatitis B, ganyan. And of course, yung mga medications, no? Baka sila pala ay nag-aspirin. Meron pala silang mga pampalapot sa dugo, blood thinners. Hindi rin po sila pwede mag-donate ng dugo. Tapos, coagulation disorders, and of course, yung sexual activity. Physical examinations, no, wala pong problema sa overweight. Ang problema is yung ating underweight. General appearance, if they look sick, no, not because if they look good or not, ganyan, gwapo ba o maganda. Wala naman pong ganun, no, pwedeng mag-donate kahit hindi bagong ligo. Basta walang infection, no, or malinis. Temperature, pulse, blood pressure, hemoglobin, and skin lesions, no? Kasi most probably kapag may mga skin lesions yan, pwedeng sila ay nagagamot, medications. So, or pwedeng, it could be an indication of immunocompromised immune system. Yan. Physical examination, you have to check for the presence of anxiety, drug or alcohol influence. So may mga blood collecting units na within 24 hours dapat walang alcohol consumption. Yung iba naman 48 hours. So ayan, weight should be at least 50 kilograms or 110 pounds. So ayan. Yeah, physical computation, hindi naman na po kayo actually ang magko-compute nito 'no. Pero, just to keep it simple, sa Pilipinas 'to ha, sa Pilipinas. If, the patient is less than 50, we do not allow them to donate. Pero meron kasi tayong 250 ml lang na blood bag na ginagamit sa ibang bansa. Sa atin sa Pilipinas hindi natin ginagamit yung 250 ml na blood bag because it's inefficient. Sino lang ba ang gumagamit ng transfusion that requires small blood 'no? Yung mga babies, mga neonates. Yung mga bagong panganak 'no, or yung may mga, problema or puwedeng yung baby ay underwent ng operation. So, konting blood lang yung kailangang isalin sa kanila. So, we have to compute 'no, kapagka ganito ang nangyayari 'no. Pero sa'tin sa Pilipinas again, hindi tayo nagko-compute kasi hindi naman natin ina-allow yung less than 50 kilograms na blood donors. Temperature, Um, oral temperature lower than normal, yung sa'tin ano na lang 'no, body temp lang na donors, must not drink, hot coffee or hot beverages, that may alter the temperature. So kaya po, sa mga blood donation area kung mapapansin niyo dapat, relaxing, wide space at saka dapat ay maraming stock ng, water 'no. Sometimes, halimbawa 'pag pumunta kayo sa PGH, hindi naman po kasi lahat ng mga blood bank facility, they can provide snacks, they can provide water. Hindi po. Sa PGH 'pag pupunta ka diyan para mag-donate ng blood, kailangan may hawak ka ng 2 litrong tubig 'no. Kasi kailangan mong, uminom ng tubig at least 1 liter bago ka umalis sa blood bank unit after mong mag-donate ng blood. This one is to ensure that the donor is also safe 'no, from fainting. 'Yan. So, meron tayong different, requirements 'no. So 'pag autologous, of course, no age requirement, allogenic 17 to 65. So yung senior citizen natin na 60 years old, it varies ha. It varies kasi siyempre, kapag mukha namang healthy yung 60 years old, mukhang malakas ganyan, hindi halata, pwede. Pero kapagka yung senior citizen natin 65, may mga maintenance medicine na, kahit mukha siyang malakas, hindi na po siya puwedeng donate 'no. So of course, we have to take note that as we age, lumiliit na din po yung capacity natin na mag-produce yung bone marrow ng maraming, RBCs. So iniiwasan naman nating magkaroon ng anemia yung ating, donors 'no. So weight, none for autologous, 110 or 50 kilograms minimum. Temperature, 37 degrees. Pulse rate, 50 to 100. Blood, pressure systolic, 90 to 160. Diastolic, 60 to 100. And hemoglobin, at least 11.0 for autologous and 12.5 for the allogenic. Hematocrit 33% for autologous and allogenic 38%. Yan. So this one is pwedeng pumasa ka sa physical examination ng mga interviews and questionnaire. But 'pag pinerform ito yung hindi nakakapagsinungaling. Yan. Allogenic, ayan, it requires, specific, hemoglobin and hematocrit 'no, according to men and women 'no, na classification. So, of course, determination of hemoglobin, ang ginagamit natin is yung copper sulfate, method. Ito po yung ano, pinapalutang nagda-drop ng blood sa blue na liquid, copper sulfate. Tapos ayan, um kapagka siya ay lumubog 'no, or kapag siya ay umangat, 'yan meron siyang specific na, um, ibig sabihin. So halimbawa, kapagka nag-drop ka ng blood sa copper sulfate, dapat babagsak siya sa ilalim. Ngayon kapag matagal siyang bumagsak or na-afloat siya, so hindi po puwedeng mag-donate 'no. Microhematocrit method, pero yung iba naman po may mga dala na din silang mga makina 'no, para mag-identify ng specific numbers or counts ng hemoglobin at ng, hematocrit. Skin lesions 'no, titignan din, baka may mga bukol-bukol din kasi, inflammation of the lymph nodes could identify presence of infection. Yan, so rashes ganyan, puwede rin kasi baka mamaya magkaroon sila ng rash or magkaroon ng, um Ah, activation of complements 'no, kapag in contact with, needles at saka ng gloves 'no, during, bleeding. Donor deferrals 'no. So, there are lots of list 'no, wherein we can reject a donor. So, puwedeng temporary, puwedeng indefinite, puwede ring permanent. So, temporary puwedeng weeks ano, to 1 year, ganyan. Or months, weeks, months to 1 year. So, indefinite naman, so puwedeng pagkatapos niyang maggamot, puwede na siyang mag-donate. Pero while on medication, puwedeng temporarily or indefinite deferred siya. And permanent, never na po siyang makakapag-donate ng blood. So, iisa-isahin natin. So, indefinite versus, permanent. So, 'pag sinabi nating permanent, indefinite, hindi natin sure kung kailan siya puwedeng makapag-donate ulit 'no, kaya indefinite. So, puwedeng 'pag gumaling siya sa isang disease or kapag naka-recover siya sa operations, ganyan, puwede siyang makapag-donate. Pero kapag permanent, hindi na po ever makakapag, donate yung ating pasyente kasi puwedeng hindi na siya gagaling 'no, or puwedeng mataas yung risk 'no, na magkakaroon siya ng sakit in the future. So, deferrals 'no, temporary, so puwedeng 3 years deferral, with malaria, visitors, immigrants 'no. 2 months deferral for whole blood donation. Halimbawa, nag-donate ka last month, gusto mo ulit mag-donate ngayon. So, temporary muna, hindi mo na puwede, 'no. So, 6 weeks 'no, following pregnancy, 12 months deferral, ayan. Patient with contact with hepatitis, 'yan, naka-receive ng transplantation, nagkaroon ng tattoo, ear, and skin piercing, tapos, nagkaroon ng hepatitis B, 'no, immunoglobulins, puwedeng nagkaroon kasi siya ng exposure, treated for syphilis or gonorrhea, traveled across, that may have endemic for malaria, rabies vaccine, tapos exposure with HIV, 4 weeks vaccinations 'no, German measles, chickenpox, then, 3 days tooth extraction. So, kailangan mag-heal muna 'yan kasi bubulwak yung dugo diyan. 8 hours 'pag nagpheresis, 2 weeks deferral, vaccination, smallpox, yellow fever, influenza, ah, or, polio and, mumps and, measles. No deferrals, depende ano, masasabi ko depende, dito sa mga vaccines na ito. Kasi according to the AABB standards, any wound, inflicted injury should be temporarily deferred for 1 year. So, there are some vaccinations 'no, yung mga nagbabakuna sa atin minsan, napapadugo nila yung braso ng pasyente. So, kapagka may dugo, automatic ang definition nun is may sugat. So, kapag nagdugo, nagsugat, wound-inflicted injury yun. Now, if you're just going to read the book, no, kung babasahin niyo yung libro ninyo, andun po yung extensive definition niyan. Lahat ng mga nandito sa PowerPoint natin ay puro shortcut lang. So, if we will be going to be strict, no, on this, so we will follow that. But puwede ring no deferral at all 'no, kasi ang vaccines naman, these are, live, attenuated vaccines that is free from causing infections 'no, from, the donors. So, safe naman yung bakuna. Kaya nga lang, double standard kasi wound inflicting injury, pero at the same time, yung wound na yun is safe naman, 'yan. So, vaccinations of killed, bacterial rickettsial, vaccines or toxoids for diphtheria, tetanus, cholera, pertussis, um, hepatitis B, typhoid, RMSF, influenza, and injectable, polio, vaccine. Then acceptable drugs, yan, allergy shots, analgesics, diet pills, antidepressants, antacids, antihistamines, so long that you will establish, you will report that you had vaccination, that you had, these drugs 'no or medications. Kasi what is your intention in not saying that you had vaccination or that you are taking this medication? What is your intention? So, if you're trying to mask anything, kaya hindi mo 'to sinabi, then you don't have the pure intention on being a blood donor volunteer. So, para sa akin, pagka ano, nalaman ko siyempre habang nagdo-donate takes a while, 15 minutes 'no, 5 to 15 minutes para mapuno yung blood bag natin. Chikahan tayo kunwari, "Oh sir, ba't ka naman, nag-donate ng blood? Siguro nagpa-HEPA ka 'no, gusto mong malaman kung effective na yung vaccine sa'yo." Ganyan. Sabi niya, "Ay oo, eh." Ganyan, ganyan. Usually, we reject the blood pagka gano'n 'no, kasi, kailangan again pure ang intention and we don't want to put the risk 'no. yung ating, future recipient 'no, ng blood. So, you will understand further 'no, um, when you proceed with your internship or kapagka working na po kayo. So, helpful hints for deferral. So, ayan, yung mga high risk lang. Basta anything about drugs, sex, and money. Even cancer pala. Or untreated diseases. Cannot be treated diseases. Autoimmune diseases. Ganyan. 12 months deferral and STD, jail, prison. Nagkaroon siya ng gonorrhea dati, okay lang naman. Basta gumaling na siya at saka nakalipas na ang 1 taon. Rabies, vaccine and hepatitis B immunoglobulin. 'Yan, aspirin may donate unless apheresis or platelets. So in short, packed red cells lang yung puwede nilang, i-donate, 'yan. So ito pong mga nandito, 'yan, ito po yung mga sample questionnaires natin. So kayo po yung magtatanong nito sa inyong mga pasyente, 'yan. Had a tattoo, yes or no, ganyan. Alam mo ba yung malaria? Hindi. Alam mo ba yung Chagas disease, babesiosis? Nag-serve ka ba sa military? Nadestino ka ba sa Mindanao? Nadestino ka ba sa Mindoro, Palawan? Ganyan, 'no? So, but you have to be, respectful in a way na hindi po parang nadi-discriminate yung ating pasyente. Kasi hindi naman din na puwede 'no, na sinabi mo tinanong mo ako 'di ba nung kung nagpunta ako ng Palawan, oo nagbakasyon ako dun tapos hindi mo ako papayagang mag-donate, 'yan. So kailangan, ma-explain natin sa kanila kung bakit, 'yan. So, what else? The donors must inform of the risk 'no. If the donor is a minor, ayan, patient's legal guardian or parent must sign to the consent. Then should be performed by trained personnel. Yan, donors identification, alphanumeric system, depende yan sa hospital or sa unit. Aseptic technique, we do not only use alcohol, no? It is alcohol, iodine, alcohol. Tinatanong po ito sa blood exam. Yan, chlorhexidine, pwede rin kapag may budget. Kasi yung iba po ay allergic sa iodine. So ayan, two methods of collection, puwedeng whole blood which is common, simple, and, easy to perform. Apheresis naman, it includes machine, again, that is not for free. So yan, dapat 15 minutes lang. Blood is mixed every 45 seconds. Yung liquid na nasa loob ng blood bag natin is the anticoagulant. So 16 to 17 gauge, so mas malaki pa yan sa straw ng Zesto. Then ayan, 450 ml yung capacity. 'No, plus 45 ml, plus or minus 45 ml of blood. So ibig sabihin, ah, hindi na dapat lalagpas ng 450 as much as possible kasi yung blood bags naman natin nag-e-expand naman. So puwede niyang hanggang 500 ml. Pero ang nangyayari kasi is just imagine your test tubes na punong-puno tapos isisentre ninyo. Anong mangyayari? Puwedeng mag-leak out, puwedeng sumabog yung blood bag, masayang lang. So tinitimbang 'no, so puwede rin at least mga 400 ml puwede na 'yan. So arm preparation 'no, scrub the site for 30 seconds 'no of iodophor. Tapos let it stand for 30 seconds, blot dry, wala pong magbubuga 'no or magpapaypay. So concentric, spiral, motion 'no, outward, cover with, sterile gauze for needle insertion. So if the donor bends the arm, prepared site is touched with the fingers, so it should be repeated. So kailangan, we must ensure that the patient is really ready or the donor is really ready for the procedure. Method 2, so apply 1 ml of one-step gel directly to the venipuncture site. Squeeze the bottle for the intended area. So using sterile applicator, ayan, maglagay tayo ng um, ng, gel method 'no, in circular motion, about 1 inch 'no. So, kapagka nag-e-extract tayo, I'm not sure 'no, usually yung site lang ng area kung saan tayo mag-e-extract, dun lang yung lilinisin natin. But since malaki po yung bore, malaki yung size ng needle natin, so puwedeng makapasok yung mga iba't ibang microorganisms. We must ensure that the whole area ay malinis. Yung buong braso lang po yung sasabunan, pero hindi yung buong braso yung lalagyan ng iodine ha, pero yung buong antecubital area po. So ayan, using the applicator, begin the intent of the site of the venipuncture, ayan 3 inches in diameter. So pabilog 'no, buong area ng around 3 inches. So to be safe, buong antecubital, forearm. Allow site to air dry, 'yan. Kapagka nag-bend ulit, gumalaw ulit, uulitin po ulit yung procedure. Kasi kapag nagkaroon po 'yan ng bacterial infection, kayo po ang may kasalanan. 'No? So, whole blood collection procedure, confirm the donor identity using tourniquet technique or blood pressure cuff 'no. Puwede po tayong mag-identify ng ating, blood site 'no or the vein site. So, meron po tayong, tinatawag na, um, skin to vein technique 'no. Kasi, I'm not sure if you have experience, pero if the vein of our patient is sobrang prominent, sobrang malaki siya, tapos tinusok natin yung ugat na yun, during your venipuncture, I'm not sure if you have experience na nag-leak out yung dugo. Tumagos, pumutok yung term natin. Nag-leak out yung dugo from the vein during the venipuncture. It is because there is too much pressure on the vein, tapos biglang magkakaroon ng space, magkakaroon ng butas, kaya magle-leak out po talaga siya. So, in bleeding, we do not put much pressure kasi imagine ninyo 5 to 15 minutes na naka-tourniquet yung braso ng pasyente natin while bleeding. So, we have to ensure that it is also comfortable for them 'no, at kung gano'n po kahigpit yung cuffing natin, yung pag-application natin ng, tourniquet, ang mangyayari po diyan is mangingitim yung braso ng ating pasyente. There could be forcibly stopping 'no, of, the blood flowing to the blood bags. So, kaya po ample pressure lang 'no. And, when we say skin to vein, we do not directly hit the vein of our patient. So, halimbawa, ito yung paano ba mag-drawing ng braso? 'Yan yung braso ng pasyente, ito yung ugat niya. So, the puncture should be from here from here muna 'no, to here, gano'n. So, yun yung tinatawag natin skin to vein or hindi directly na diyan, puwedeng dito ka tumusok, 'yan papunta dun, igagapang mo siya. Kasi kapagka directly mong hinit ito, magle-leak out at yung leaking out niya for 15 minutes. Kasi 15 minutes kang magbi-bleed, eh. Puwede mo bang sabihin na, "Ay sorry po, mali ako ng tusok, kabilang braso na lang." Tusukan kaya kita ng 16 to 17 gauge, matutuwa ka. Sasabihin mo lang na nagkamali ka. So, that is part of the negligence of your duty. Kaya po hindi po basta-basta na pinapayagan yung interns na mag-donate. Unless otherwise you have earned, the trust 'no, of your staff ganyan, lalo na kung private. So, kaya mas magandang mag-train po talaga sa mga public. Kasi ang mga pasyente natin sa public kahit na gaano kahirap, kahit na gaano kasakit, hindi sila gano'n nagrereklamo because they are not paying patients. And hindi sila mga entitled kumbaga. 'No. Inspect blood bags 'no, for any defects or discoloration. So, baka butas na or, expired na pala yung blood bags, hindi pa natin napapansin. Ensure the balance system is adjusted to the volume being drawn, counterbalance is level. Then reapply the tourniquet, increase distension of the vein, perform venipuncture immediately, cover it with sterile gauze. Tapos siyempre kung nag-a-apply tayo ng pressure sa venipuncture, sa bleeding po natin, mas matagal yung application, 'no? Then, release hemostat and ask the donor to open and close hand every 10 to 12, seconds. Yeah. Reduce the pressure, 'no, of approximate 40 millimeter mercury. Then, continue to monitor the patient, the entire collection. Baka namumutla, kailangan mag-stop or baka wala ng dumadaloy na dugo, kailangan na mag-stop. Then the primary bag has stripped the scale, the donor can stop the squeezing. Yan. A unit containing 405 to 550 ml should weigh 429 and 583 grams. So, in between that, pwede na yan. So, yan. Tapos, dahan-dahan din po, no, yung pag-release. Tapos, apply pressure. So much pressure. Tapos, hindi po sapat dito yung isang cotton lang. Makapal na cotton, makapal na gasa, yung ilalagay natin. And of course, tatagalan natin yung pag-apply nga ng pressure. So, kasi kapag tinanggal mo yan, may butas yan eh. Butas talaga yan kasi malaki yung needle. Then, ayan. Bandage can be applied, no, or mga tapes kapag ka pwede na. Nag-stop na yung bleeding. Yan, heat seal the filled tubes into segments, 'no. Naturo ko na sa inyo kung ano itsura ng segments sa blood bag, then stored at appropriate temperature. Autologous transfusion sa totoo lang, hindi natin 'to ginagawa sa Pilipinas at kung gagawin man natin, mga 3 months prior the operation 2 months lang prior the operation of the patient. 'Yan. So, but, mostly 'yan, yung patient na may Bombay phenotype o kaya may mga autoimmune diseases, ayan. So, hindi puwedeng mag-autologous yung may syphilis at yung may, bacteremia. These are infections of, microorganisms 'no, sa blood natin. So, hindi niyo rin alam baka yung mga ine-extractan ninyo lalo na kung ang request ay, blood culture ay may sepsis 'no. So, or may, pagka ganyan you have to be very careful, you need to wear gloves prior blood extraction. So puwede kasi kayong mahawa. So, kaya 'pag nag-intern kayo, ang laman ng bulsa ninyo, lagi kayong may 3 colors of pen, black, red, and blue. You must also bring your marker na smudge-free. You must bring your pen lights. You must bring your, um, pen lights kasi minsan madilim talaga habang nag-e-extract or kumukurap pa yung ilaw. Tapos your own tourniquet, your mask and your, gloves 'no, that should be, tawag dito, replaced every patient. Yung gloves and yung mask is replaced every 4 hours or whenever you feel that you need to change, 'yan. Then, what else? Criteria, autologous no age limit, no weight, requirements kasi para sa'yo naman 'yan. At mas mababa din yung hemoglobin at hematocrit na requirement from 12.5 to 11 and from 38% of hematocrit to 34% lang. Yeah, 3 days prior to the scheduled surgical procedure up to 2 months. Kasi siyempre yun lang din naman yung capacity ng blood bag natin, 'di ba? 5 days. Disadvantages, bacterial contamination, circulatory overload. Then puwedeng ma-activate yung complement or yung autoimmune disorder kung meron siya. Methods to obtain autologous transfusion, yan, preoperative collection 5 to 6 weeks prior the elective procedure. tapos done during orthopedic procedures, vascular surgery, cardiac or thoracic surgery, and radial prostatectomy. So volume, same, 450 to 500 ml. Immediate preoperative hemodilution. So take place in operating rooms with 1 to 3 units of full blood. Then the patient's volume is replaced with colloid or crystalloid. No, tapos reinfusion sa surgical procedure. Methods to obtain, ayan, meron tayong crystalloids. Meron din tayong colloids. So, sinasama po ito sa blood bags. Tapos, isasalin ulit sa ating pasyente. Intraoperative, no, collection of shed blood from the surgical site is processed through an instrument to wash with saline, yan, and concentrating residual cells. So, madalas nga para maiwasan po yung transfusion reaction. Yun talaga yung pinaka-advantage niya. And advantage, ayan, not possible due to urgency of surgery. So, it takes time, no? For it to process. Walang autologous transfusion na agad-agad. Disadvantage, kailangan mo ng instrument, no? Para makapag-present ka ng colloids, crystalloids at makapag-wash ka. Kasi yung dugo na nasa blood bag, iwa-wash mo pa siya ulit ng NSS. Eh, nasa blood bag na. So, yeah. Um, Post-operative naman, so collected from draining tubes, no? Diluted, partial hemolyzed, defibrinated blood, no more than 1,400 ml should be reinfused. Pero kung ano na, fibrinogenated na or hemolyzed, hindi na, discard na siya. Must be reinfused within 6 hours of collection. 'Pag hindi autologous, 24 hours, eh. Ay wala wala palang reinfusion, I mean kapagka nabuksan na yung blood bag. So advantage, low cost. Sa Pilipinas, it is a disadvantage kasi it's not a low cost procedure since you will be needing that machine. Disadvantage, it does not yield large volume kasi kung ano lang yung kaya mong i-donate, yun lang din yung puwedeng maisalin sa'yo, gano'n. So in short, backup lang talaga siya. Halimbawa, operations hindi sinasadya, hindi naman natin masabi kung kailan nagkakaroon ng DIC or biglang hindi na nag-stop yung bleeding sa loob, nagkaroon ng bleeding sa loob. So 'yan, 'yan ang mangyayari. Ayan. Allogenic donors, puwedeng voluntary, directed, and paid donors. Direct donation, so meron tayong halimbawa, pumunta ka sa ospital, blood bank unit, magdo-donate po ako para kay patient Lara, ganyan. So, 'yan. So, pagka gano'n, ah, puwede pa rin namang mga may binabayaran, so you need to conduct an interview. So, if the donor is a blood relative, the unit must be irradiated to prevent graft versus host disease. Kaya mas maganda actually kung hindi mo siya kamag-anak, hindi mo siya relative or na-process na yung blood prior donation. Then, blood is separated into components. Ayan, kapag sinentry kasi natin yung blood bag, yung whole blood bag, it is separated into plasma component, platelet component, at saka packed red cells component. Kaya po sa isang blood bag, 3 tao yung puwedeng masalinan. Hmm, ayan. So, depende sa kailangan ng pasyente. So, apheresis collection, ayan, regulated by FDA. Tapos donor requirements are generally same for the whole blood. Kaya nga lang may interval donations at saka mas concentrated yung sample na makukuha natin. Then once the donor has satisfied requirements, yan, pwede nang mag-identify, perform aseptic, collection procedures, post-donation instructions. Pwedeng in the middle of blood donation, umayaw yung pasyente. Mag-e-explain ka siyempre because you want to save the blood bag. But kung ayaw niya na talaga, we must immediately stop the bleeding. no, kasi nga voluntary lang. Then ayan, post phlebotomy, apply pressure for 7 to 10 minutes, check the bandage site. 'Yan, have donor sit up or sometimes higa for a few minutes. Bigyan ng refreshment, no, tubig, eat or drink before leaving. More fluid intake for the succeeding 4 hours. So as much as possible ngayong summer, of course, um, no exposure to high radiation. No alcohol after eating, no smoking, wait unless the staff releases the donor. Puwedeng mild, moderate, puwede ring, severe. So for the mild, ayan puwedeng, syncope, nausea, vomiting, hyperventilation, muscle spasm. Kaya kailangan po munang mag-relax after. Sweating, dizziness, pallor, convulsions 'no. If patients fainted, remove the tourniquet, withdraw the needle, magco-cold compress 'no. Minsan may mga donors na bumabalik kinabukasan yung buong braso nila namamaga. It could also be a side effect pero iaayos lang din naman po yun. Kasi yung hindi nag-apply ng pressure, instead na lumabas yung dugo doon sa skin ng patient sa loob. So kaya nagpapasa. Buong braso yung naghematoma. Monitor, vital signs, loose, tightened clothing. Tapos, puwedeng twitching. Let the, patient breathe in a paper bag. Then if patient is nauseous or vomited, instruct the donor to breathe, slowly. Apply cold compress, tubig actually at pahinga. Moderate reactions and decrease pulse rate. Administered 95% oxygen and 5% carbon dioxide. So this is the reason why we need to ensure that um, the donor is healthy para maiwasan yung mga ganitong pangyayari. No, kasi nag-donate ka nga para maka-save tapos biglang gagamutin mo din yung pasyente mo. Hyperventilation, marked depletion of carbon dioxide. If it happens, call for help immediately and restrain the donor and ensure that there is an adequate airway. Yan, hematoma. Maliit pa to eh. Minsan buong braso. Yan. So, iwasan natin 'to. Kapag nag-skin to vein ka, wala kang ganito. However, of course, I can just teach you the technique, but it is your experience that will actually give you the idea on how to really do the skin to vein. Yan, donor records must be retained. And yung iba, may mga index card sila, pero yung iba naman, may mga drive, Google Drives. Yung iba naman, may mga computer na nakasave yung mga data. Yan, donor screening, ito yung mga ano, usually mga diseases at saka yung mga procedures na kailangan pagdaanan ng blood bags. Pero there will be a separate discussion on this. Yan, transfusion service testing. Donor samples must be stored at 1 to 6 degrees for at least 7 days after the transfusion. So at least sa atin, at least 3 days para mamatay lang yung mga treponemes na pwede. Tapos hindi rin tayo naglalagay ng mga, additives like Adsol, hindi na, 'yan. Yan.